Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen around the world, wherever you are. Welcome to League of Tilt. But today we're doing a gameplay review after the fact. We were Mordekaiser in this game, obviously. This is the solo Mordekaiser only channel after all. So we're up into a Hecarim. So the reason this is interesting is because Mordekaiser actually has significantly worse gank setup than Hecarim. Right? Hecarim can actually run around the map like a mad pony because, you know, that's literally what he is. Hecarim can look for early ganks and look to apply early pressure, but he can also look to do a full clear. So Mord, I did actually go ahead and put a ward here. Wards are good. This ward is very easy to put when you're on the other side, just like walk. In fact, like you can do this on either side, right? Like the enemy team could have walked in, warded just over the wall. It's the safest ward, especially against when you're up against a blitzcrank. Like walking in here is such a disaster. So just like ward here, right? Makes much more sense. So I was saying, Mordekaiser has a decent full clear. Anyone who's seen Mord clear Philaris, Virka, you talked about it recently, and then of course I've demonstrated this on my channel as well. You know that Mord has a decent full jungle clear. He can always 315 it. Like even solo he can 315 it. With a leash it's even better. But Hecarim can do that too, if he's a good Hecarim who keeps up his rampage stacks and so on and so forth. But he can also gank. So what can happen as a Mordekaiser, you end up getting out-tempoed by the Hecarim, right? You just end up not being able to match Hecarim's pressure around the map while you're full clearing. And those couple of early kills onto a champion like Diana, or even just get a kill on Yasuo, get him ahead, it really hurts. So from the jungler's perspective, so this ward, very valuable, right? It tells us that Hecarim got out of here with 8 CS. I think we actually saw 7 CS, and then because he killed the thing here, so he'd have 8 CS here. So we know that Hecarim walked into his topside jungle without doing crouch. So we know that he's not doing a full clear. We know that he'll be looking for a gank mid or a gank top lane. Just around the time Crab will spawn. Now, thankfully, Irelia does get a solo kill top lane, so let's have a look at that. Oh, just full stack Irelia and Scion, no respect. Yeah, okay, very straightforward then. Full stack Aurelia, Scion, no respect. Don't do this, guys. Don't try to fight a full stack Aurelia. She'll mess you up. That's just what that champion does. I feel like we should have been over this like enough times now. I feel like people should know this enough times now. This should have happened to people enough times now to it's not a problem. Well, as expected, Hecarim's clearing the jungle. There should be another obliterate here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, hit that guy. Woo! Close, almost got the reset. That's all right. So now we are all caught up with the Hecarim in terms of tempo. Actually, he started this camp already, and he's not trying to do both. It's inefficient. He really should have been trying to do both at once. I know he started W, so he's definitely not doing the proper full clear that you can do on Hecarim. With your Q and your W and your smite, you can definitely take these two camps together, and that's like, then you get done with the whole thing at like 3-3-2, and then that allows you ample time to set up top lane gank. Anyways, we're going to do our double camp. We're going to do a full clear. We're going to have a team C advantage over the Hecarim, just a one camp advantage. Temporarily, that's a level advantage. If Echo plays disrespectfully, he is going to die here. For the record, Echo got so tilted this game. Oh, how did that happen? He just kept yelling and yelling. Oh, okay, this is very straightforward. Just Alistar goes in. Oh, it's very, very clean. Yeah, okay. Just throws them back into the team. Okay. This is going to be a free crab for me. And then Hecarim didn't yet do topside crab? Oh, because Irelia is starting. Okay. Irelia should be dead here, despite her massive advantage. Okay, oh my god. that got really scary. So because we knew that Hecarim hasn't really done this Krug camp, and when he killed Aurelia, he still had 20 CS, we know that he hasn't done this yet. So we know he's gonna... Why is this Grump still up? He must have reset at the camp and I missed it. Okay. So lots of fighting here. I was waiting for the Krugs to finish, and then this bait was pretty damn good by the Twitch. Like, Alistar getting out with a sliver of HP is fantastic. It's like, we can't really dive this, right? So diving is a disaster. So we have to wait for them to come out of tower. So either they have to chase Alistar. I actually thought they would chase Alistar, but then they didn't. They chased Twitch instead. So now, I know that Hecarim started on these Raptors, so I know that they'll be up now, because they're the first camp that he did. So it's about time for them to respawn, right? It's 420. He finished them at like just by 2, so it's been 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So okay, now can't really do anything Diana or to this Diana, so because she's playing fairly safe. Now I actually, on seeing how little CS the Hecarim had, I figured he must have skipped his wolves. So I go in, I find the wolves, and then to my undying surprise, I'm actually going to walk up here and find his Grump as well. So now he's going to come to my bot side. Nothing's here yet, like only the wolves. The Grump hasn't spawned yet, right? Grump is going to spawn, like I finished the Grump at 3:15, so it'll be spawning up like 5:30. Okay, so that was just a visual bug. He did finish the Grump. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Okay. So Irelia is doing pretty well into the Scion. He has this lane frozen. So I'm thinking, well, okay, I'm going to finish up this Gromp and then head over topside, get a kill on the Scion. Should be pretty straightforward. Hecarim, he's just going to be sad because he didn't find anything here. He won't find anything here. He won't find anything here. And this is how, with intelligent pathing, you can really mess people up. So I know that Hecarim might be coming over this side, right? Because where else is he going to go? But I'm stronger than he is. Like, Irelia and I are both a level up, and I'm first to the play. So Flan is just dead, and then we can just walk away, and Hecarim can't do anything. He doesn't have ulti, he can't fear us back into the Scion queue. He just has to walk away here. And it's 6 minutes into the game. Hecarim is level 4. The CS difference, oof. And I'm about to hit level 6. When you have this level of pathing gap, you should be able to turn that pathing gap into an eventual victory. Okay, well, actually, is he gonna make it out because he's Echo? He might, mightn't he? Oh, he's gonna hop over to the minion move and completely alright. So that Krug camp did give me level 6. I don't know why I'm stopping. That's pretty weird. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my second full clear. I know that Hecarim is bot side clearing this Raptors. He showed up. Like, he showed up this side after he tried to kill the Echo. So given that this is up, he's obviously going to be here. And if he's in our jungle, so if we find him trying to do our Gromp, we are 100% going to kill him. So he didn't even try to start it, I think because he saw me. Yeah, I think he saw me actually, and then he chickened out, which is good for him, because if he had tried to start this, he wouldn't have finished it in time. And then I had ulti, he didn't have ulti, so he doesn't have his unstoppable. Without his ulti, he doesn't actually have any mobility that lets him get over walls. While you're in the death realm, ooh, that'd be sad if he just walked over and smited it. He had smite as well, but I think I kited it away just enough. I did get scared that they would try to dive the Twitch here. I don't know why they engaged when they knew Hecarim was literally right there. But I just stand here and make sure they're not going for any crazy dive. Recall, spend all my gold. Look at it, look at it. So much power. So much combat power. So much combat power in a single bite. Is this another kill? Surely not. Surely the Scion is safe here. Okay, he is. Okay. Because now I have all the components of a demonic embrace. I need 500 gold to get the giant's belt, and then the combined cost is another 800, so 1300 more gold. So like one more full sequence plus taking an objective like Herald, and I'll have my first item possibly by 10 to 11 minutes into the game. That's a very early power spike, and it all comes on the back of me reading that Hecarim skipped his Krugs. Take his Krugs, know that his Raptors are up, take his Raptors, because again, I know I can fight him. I have Conqueror, he has Phase Rush, and I know that he tried to go for a gank and he was slow on this play. So transition that into topside invade, and now suddenly we're levels up. We're earlier in the play on the top lane gank, It's all about just reading your opponent's pathing and punishing him for skipping camps. On Mord, the fact that your clear speed is faster than the enemy junglers most of the time, this is how you use that fact to get ahead of him, to make him feel like he doesn't have a jungle, only you do. Alright, Echo might be dead here. What on earth? Okay, what is happening here actually? Okay, so I'm just gonna do another full clear of Hecarim's jungle. I see that he's not here, even though I took Herald, so that means I can guess he's on Drake. If he's on Drake, that's fine. I'll just go ahead and place down this Rift Herald. Irelia, meantime, gets another solo kill on the Scion. Let's actually watch this one. So what happens here? Scion thinks, oh, she's so low, I'll get her, but then gives her 1 mark, and then 2 mark, and then she had full stacks, so she just kills him. Vamp, Scepter, irelia is essentially full build, so you don't actually try to fight that. Scion didn't get the memo. Now, unfortunately, I'm not actually even close to getting this third plate here, so I'm just going to push in this wave and recall. Hecarim is obviously going to transition Drake into a gank bot lane. Bot lane played sufficiently respectfully to where they didn't die, because, you know, they knew, like, if they die here, by the way, that's a disaster, because they should know better. They should 100% of the time know that, hey, this guy, he just took Drake. Where else is he gonna go? He's probably gonna look for a gank on us if we overstay our welcome. And now our bot lane stays back for so long that Blitzcrank has the time to get back into lane and take all free damage and just give over his advantage again completely. Okay, so we're just gonna fall back into our jungle here again. Top side, we've been going bot side for a bit, but it's okay because we farmed Hecarim's top side as well. So we're not actually falling behind in camps. Like, see, we're always doing something. We're always moving on the map, and we're completely ignoring the mid lane. Like, Diana is in theory gankable, but Echo has not been doing spectacularly well, and it's, as a jungler, given how the lane states have been whenever I've tried to walk into mid, it's just very hard to get to the Diana when the lanes are pushed the way that they are. So I've just been ignoring mid lane, securing every other advantage everywhere else. Look how far ahead of the Hecarim we are. We're a level ahead. Look at that CSD. Just look at that CSD. It is insane. Hecarim would have been yet another level down, but he actually got Drake, and he got another uncontested Scuttle Crab, and then he got to leak some EXP from mid lane. But yeah, once I complete my next level Gromp here, like my high level Gromp here, after having completed his Gromp, which is obviously highest EXP camp in the game, the difference is now 2 levels, and this is what it should almost always look like. Like, even in games where your team isn't doing as well, even in games where you don't have a fed Irelia, like the fed Irelia has not contributed to our being this far ahead. That was all just outpathing the Hecarim, warding, reading where he's going to be, stealing all his camps. So now I should absolutely look for another invade on his top side. But he should know that, and I would imagine he is going to come contest this as well. But I know that I'm level 9, that I can ulti and fight him if he shows up. Yeah, he knows that too. He's just gonna have to walk away here. If Diana shows up here, I will immediately ulti somebody. In this case, I ulti the Hecarim, so that I'm not fighting a 1v2. Oh, as I turn Ghost on, he ults me. He ults away. Echo, unfortunately, isn't able to finish the kill on the Hecarim. He gets away with very little HP. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this Gromp. Diana cannot really kill me 1v1. Echo is extremely tilted at this stage, but it's okay. We're going to go up, see if we can make something happen topside. Unfortunately, Irelia is going to miss the stun, so that's going to be the end of that play. So just show up, take a minion for your troubles, because why the heck not? It doesn't really set Irelia behind terribly much. So we will die once this game, and it's a very stupid death. You'll see. I hate to even say it. Also, we did go for a red smite this game, as you can see, because there's a large amount of the time that I will be spending in melee combat against either tanky people or skirmishers. Yasuo, Diana, Hecarim, Scion are all tanky slash deal a significant amount of damage without dying and getting one-shot. Yasuo can build shield bolt that stops him from getting one-shot. So in extended fights, skirmishing smite is absolutely fantastic. You only really want blue smite when you need to catch up to people. When as soon as you catch up to people, auto attack Q is just gonna like one-shot them. In those cases, blue smite is better. But here there are 4 people, in fact even blitz, if we out blitz, we'll just be like standing there and bonking away at him for a while. Skirmishing smite is absolutely fantastic in this game. We're also going demonic embrace, similar reasons. Whenever there is a game in which you're going to go for large extended fights, demonic embrace is absolutely insane. Mythic wise, since we're ahead, I'm not actually going for a tank mythic, not least because the only way to outduel people like Diana and Yasuo is to heal through their damage and deal a significant amount of damage. You cannot out tank Yasuo. I just missed that Death's Grasp and Shame Smited the Scuttle Crab. Is Shame Smiting even a thing? Well, I'm going to make it a thing now. Alright, so we have perfect control over this Riverside now. I'm just going to go ahead and take this dragon. Yasuo shows up. I'm going to ult him. He's just going to die. I also have an Alistar. This literally should not be a concern. Alistar should go ahead and zone him off. Yep, there we go. That's exactly what's happening. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and ult Yasuo and even through an exhausted. I am several levels up on you, my friend. You do not have a complete item. I do. If this is not close, irelia is just gonna get another dive off from the Scion. She's gonna walk away with no repercussions. So for me, just reset and head straight back over to Rift Herald. It's just now control of Hecarim's jungle. I've relinquished a significant portion of it. I'm letting him have his camps, but in return, I'm pressuring the lanes and most importantly securing those all-important objectives. Now, unfortunately, because mid was losing so hard, Irelia doesn't actually get first turret top lane, even though we used the Rift Herald top side, but it's okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, at least you got the gold. That was pretty funny. So Hecarim knows that I'm going to try and go for this Rift Herald. He wants people to come assist, but things are happening mid lane. Echo's just dead. Even though he had ulti, he got CC chained. Ooh, I'm scared here. Yeah, because now Hecarim is going to show up with a Diana. Hecarim. Let's take a look at that. Did I miss smite? What happened? Why did I not? I was trying to hit the eye and combo that with the smite, but what happened? Oh, Hecarim hit the eye and then I got the smite off. Okay. So I'm out here. I did a significant amount of damage to the Hecarim. Irelia is back, thankfully, so I can just deal. We can together. The two of us can just do a bunch of damage to the Scion, and then we can just go ahead and focus on one person at a time. And here, I decide to ult the Diana, not the Scion, the Diana, because she's the only actual threat. I'm confident with how low Hecarim and Scion were that between the two of them, they wouldn't actually be able to hurt Diana at all. So Diana walked back in, by the way, because if she walks into this choke, then she has to get hit by my mace. But then I just put down a ward here and then just walk her down. Meanwhile, the land knock up on the Twitch. Windwell's going to negate any and all return damage. Oh my gosh, that's so unfortunate. Oh, but the Alistar insane plays. Alistar's going to get this kill, surely. Yeah, okay, Alistar does get this kill. And obviously, I'm going to go ahead and put up this Rift Herald top side. I have an Irelia pushing with me. I'm half HP, but that's still strong enough to deal with this Hecarim, I'd imagine. All I want is for this Rift Herald to get off another chart. So we've got 550 gold from here split between the two of us. We've significantly weakened this turret for the next time Irelia's topside. She will breathe on that tower, it will die. As we go out, Gromp, I see the indicator for Gromp beginning to spawn. So I'm just going to stick around. I'm planning to stick around here and take all of these camps. If they fight mid lane, if there's a full-blown fight mid lane and not just people looking at each other, I will rotate, but it does look like there's echoes going deep and then coming back out. And then over here, we've just got an Irelia flanking. So I'm not worried about this kind of fight whatsoever. And this is where, oh, my eternal shame, my undying shame. So look, first thing, I did good, okay? Pulled them out. I don't know what that obliterate was. I eat the full thing, secondly, and that's fine. But then I ulti him while he's trying to ulti. So even though I pulled him out of his Q and I used my W to absorb one of his fully charged Qs, I missed one of my obliterates and I got greedy. I neither red smited him nor ulted him. Don't do that. When you're ahead and you have tools with which to kill people, use the tools that you have to kill people. Giving away shutdowns like that, like imagine if this hadn't been a Scion. Imagine if this had been a champion like Fiora or Camille that Irelia had, or Set, or literally like any other fighter bruiser that Irelia had spent all of the game putting behind, and suddenly I show up and I'm like, here, have 1,000 gold. These are the ways we lose games. Oh, she just thought she could stat check him. We both got cocky. She just thought she could stat check him, but she missed her stun and she fought in his minion wave, and those small differences were just enough. She didn't avoid the tornado either. She just stood in auto attack, and that was just barely enough. Hecarim's gonna get on the Twitch. Is Twitch dead here? It's not auto attacking. There's no hiding whatsoever. Yasuo puts out the wind wall, but he's very scared to go in because of how low he is. I'm just here farming because reasons. I ghost to chase this Hecarim that's in this brush instead of going after this Diana. I think the last minute, just ignore it. I think like this is just me turning my brain off. My ulti's about to come back up. Diana's just jumping, and I don't even know why Twitch gave her a target to jump to like that. Like all he has to do, just like not show up so that she can't jump away, and we would have been fine. But as it is, he just ends up dying, which is unfortunate. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this dragon, and I have my ulti back now. Anybody who shows up is going to get hit. So second item this game, I'm gonna go Riftmaker, like I mentioned. I want to go ahead and make sure that I have the damage necessary to go through Scion, and I can stand in team fights and soak up all the damage and heal it all up. Like the real tanks, the proper tanks nowadays are actually drain tanks, pure tanks in their eras. Okay, so hit the blitz, isolated damage. No matter how many people there are here, like they really cannot walk into me. I still have my ulti, so if they all dogpile on me, I'm just gonna ult one person and they're gonna die. So blitz is the sacrificial lamb. I don't have ghost here, unfortunately, but I can still join this fight. All I have to do is make sure that Diana doesn't show up to the fight, and I'm gonna ulti the Diana. Let's see about this. Meanwhile, team obviously should be doing just fine, and then Diana comes out of my ulti just to die. Okay, her mobility let her dodge one of my Qs, which is why she lived so long. And then over here, because we had a really good angle. Oh no, Scion, can you even kill Elstra? Okay, Elstra, also we don't need you, buddy. Not even to take turret shots. That's so sad. It's alright. Oh, nice Dead's Grasp to throw away a Scion passive that wasn't going to do anything. Now you have to wait for your Scuttle Crab. The decisions I've made this game. It's alright, like these trolls are little trolls. The only real big troll was the Scion over here, the death to the Scion, but it's okay. So now, because we've taken all the objectives, dotted all our I's, crossed all our T's, pressured the map, fought well for a while in this region, killed a Diana, killed a Blitzcrank. We've done our job. We've done enough. We are now rewarded with just some down farming time. Twitch is going to be taking red buff. He's not doing as well as we are, but he's doing all right, and he has an item, and he's been dealing damage in fights, so I don't mind him getting red buff, not least because of how strong I am. So I'm just going to use the opportunity to reset. And look at this. Bramblevest, Fiendish Codex, Stopwatch. Officially unkillable. Like, into their team, Bramble stops basically all of their damage, except for Diana, and she's still going to get hurt by Bramble because she auto-attacks a lot. But Diana's, okay, well, they just caught out the Hecarim here. I was going to be worried about this, but then I realized that, like, Irelia's here. So despite Diana landing an absolutely insane ulti, and then just, like, this was not a skill check. Oh, this was literally just, like, we tried to hit them with our wallets. There was no dodging. We let them get all their wombo combos off, and they did. That was sad. Also, fighting like that is how you throw games as well. I made the executive decision to let the Scion get this turret and just walk all the way over for this Gromp. Don't at me, bro. It's just an inner turret to a Scion who doesn't have a Hullbreaker. Okay, it's completely fine. Twitch is asking for help because he's been chased by Diana since mid lane. I'm here with my ulti. Okay. Managed to save the Twitch here a second later, and it wouldn't have worked out. I land all my abilities and actually then do end up one comboing the Diana. And then over here, Scion is trying to set up a trap for me. I don't know. I'm going to pull him back in, and then Twitch is going to send him to safety, I believe. Yeah, Twitch does end up sending him to safety, but it's okay. We don't particularly care about killing the Scion over here, and I see that they placed a ward, so I'm just going to go ahead and clear that. Next objectives are when? Well, Baron's already up. I have shame smited a lot this game. So they think they're flanking me here, right? But I have an Irelia above me and an Alistar below me, and they can't really one-tap me. So I know I'm perfectly safe here if they try to come to me. Good wards with the Alistar. Echo. Oh, CC chain doesn't get to ulti, just ends up dying. Okay, unfortunate for him. Drake's up again in a minute, so we're gonna head on down over bot side to try to retain perfect control. Alistar is getting caught, but is he? No, it's just a little bit of supportal combat. Irelia is getting caught though, because Diana definitely has the damage to one-tap her. She tries to kill the Scion, but definitely doesn't have enough damage, and Diana, noticing the danger, correctly does decide to use her ultimate, so just Irelia pushing too far up. Top laners, am I right? What are you gonna do? Oh, Blitzcrank's actually been landing some decent hooks, but they should have enough CC between the lot of them to finish this off. That locket from the Alistar did so much work. The heal from the Twitch, I was considering going upstairs, but now I don't need to. I don't even need to clean up the fight, but the positioning is what counts, right? Here, if Twitch dies and Hecarim and Blitz are both like very low HP, I need to get up there and finish them off so that I can then get an uncontested Drake. And also, if you're just trying to do a hit and run Drake, you're not using your lead. You're not fighting to win. You're kind of just like bleeding gold. Like, oh, you got a kill on my ADC? That's sad. I'll try to sneak this one. Why are you sneaking? Why aren't you fighting? Why aren't you punishing the resources that they've had to invest to get a kill on the ADC? They used Hecarim ulti. They used Blitz ulti. Why are you not punishing that? Okay, so Yasuo tries to fight me here, but I just ult him out of the fight, and then just like obviously kill him because of how far ahead I am. So here the idea is, the idea for me was Diana Yasuo combo is how we lose that fight, right? So if I either ulti Diana or Yasuo, we'll be okay. So I just ult, because they're the two primary damage dealers, ulti the Yasuo, take them out of the fight. Now here they're trying to zone. In the meanwhile, because me and Irelia did so much damage, we just go ahead and finish the dragon. And now this fight is just going to be very difficult for us to lose Diana. Diana should die here, and that because she's 1v2, and then me and Irelia, we're just unkillable in the front line together. We do so much damage. Like, the only way they kill us is if they can focus either of us down, but if there's both of us just standing in the front, we can just each soak up so much and deal so much. It's like two drain tanks, each dealing different kinds of damage. So all of Sion's tankiness, like all of this Warden's Mail and everything, it doesn't do shit against my true damage and all my magic damage. It helps against Irelia, but that's it, you know. So very hard for them to up-tank. Also, we have two mountains at this point, so this game, like, from that Baron take, is just like unwinnable at that point, right? Like, that's how you use your lead to close out. You know that you forced them away with a good fight. You caught somebody out here. Translate that into a Baron. Otherwise, you're just trading kills back and forth for the rest of eternity, and you're coin flipping games. The way to ensure that you're not coin flipping games is to turn your lead into objectives, and turn those objectives into map pressure that then lets you take turrets and inhibs, which will eventually lead to taking the Nexus. You gotta string the big picture together. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna push here, I'm gonna push here, I'm gonna push here, creating space. Like, if let's say Irelia decides to push here, we all just reset with Baron buff. No one is in a position to actually get anything on the map. There's no dragon to take, there's no way we can get to this tower. So if Irelia just continued to blindly push top there, she would just die for no good reason. So that space being created doesn't do anything. So don't just randomly push. Understand what consequences and ripple effects your actions will have. Also, because of we've been doing a good job just running around the map, taking all of Hecarim's camps and just pathing around our own camps effectively as well, also showing up the lanes for fights, we're actually highest EXP in the game. So now we join. We just go ahead and take Yasuo out of the fight again. Irelia, unfortunately, is in the middle of many people here. I just finished in the Death Realm. If I had been able to exit it just a little sooner, might have been able to do more. Unfortunately, I missed this Death's Grasp. If I actually hit this Death's Grasp on the Diana, I do instantly kill her. Oh, Silence Shield came up, otherwise Demonic Embrace was being killed. Oh, he went right through me. I still have, at this stage, Azonias, so I'm still not in any real danger, because if I can just trigger my passive and stand in my Zonias, I will still kill him. Meanwhile, that entire thing was like a 3v5 for the longest time before I showed up, at which point they all went running. Echo was never in that fight, so he's just going to get this inhib. Overall, this is a very massive win for us. I have no idea why he didn't just walk away, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. Just wanted to die. Well, yeah, I'll... To imagine that he was yelling at me, this guy was actually flaming me for not having ganked him earlier. Good grief. If you have people like Echo on your team, just ignore them. Focus on your win condition, in which case you didn't have to create a win condition. Irelia showed that she was already capable. And, you know, helped. We showed up a couple of times, recognized that Hecarim would go up top side, so we beat Hecarim to the play. Like, we helped her get ahead, and then we've been joining fights, so she's not the only person who's applying pressure. So we're doing our job, and it's like, that's good enough, you know. Twitch has been doing things, Yasuo has also been doing things, but the things that they've been doing matter significantly less than... Oh, at this stage, by the way, I'd been holding my ulti. I was standing in the middle of all of them for the longest time. I was thinking, I mean, just Zhonya's when it gets dicey. And then I was waiting to ulti either Yasuo or Diana. And here I could clearly see Diana wanted to go in on my team, Portobello's ulti. She never got a chance to ulti. She was in my Death Realm. She could have ulted me, but what purpose would it have served? At this stage, we could have gone and taken the soul, but it doesn't matter. We've killed so many of them. We can just go ahead and take their turrets and end the game here. Because the respawn timer is still 20 seconds left. Only Sion and Hecarim are left. They cannot tank enough to save the game here. So that's going to be the end of that. Like, this is a game in which we had an feeding mid laner, a fairly ineffectual bot laner, but a strong top laner. And on their team, they had an extremely strong mid laner in the form of a Diana, somebody who could do damage, just like our Twitch, for their bot lane. Oh, I didn't even realize that he bought a QSS at the end of the game. That's funny. That's also a little cute. And then Sion, of course, is just a Giga Tank, but he's like super behind. So he's not very Giga Tanky against my true damage, or against Irelia's mixed Blade of the Ruined King max HP damage. So they have strength in their mid lane, and the two engagers / bruisers and their Sion Hecarim. And then they have a wombo combo team fight. But our strength is just, we are individually very strong. So we were able to use that lead to walk around the map and just keep pressuring everybody until they folded. We more than Flame Horizon this guy, right? We are 130 CS up on him. We gapped him by 7,500 gold almost. So that's fairly ridiculous. If you take a look at the runes, of course, they did a lot of work. We went shield bash this game instead of tenacity, instead of conditioning, because when you're up into people like Yasuo who ignore armor, it can actually feel pretty bad to have conditioning, like true damage or several different sources of max HP damage are when you want to avoid conditioning. In this case, Yasuo is the only one who really deals true damage, and then Diana deals a large amount of damage as well, but you can negate Diana's damage with conditioning because she doesn't actually have any max HP damage built into her kit or any percentage magic pen. So conditioning would have been fine into Diana, fine into Hecarim, fine into Sion, but really I knew that I was going to be fighting Yasuo a lot of the time, so I wanted to just have a rune that still is defensive, and that shield bash is defensive because when you're shielded you get bonus resists, but also slightly offensive because you deal damage based on the shield that you gain. So runes did work. Like here, conditioning would have been fine. I don't think this is actively incorrect. Revitalize is insane, right? Bonus shielding, bonus healing. Your W double dips on both parts of Revitalize. It's great. You have so much more effective HP with Revitalize. Each game you're going to get at least 1.5 thousand, all the way potentially up to 3,000 HP like you're seeing here. Always take Revitalize on Mordekaiser unless you have very, very good reason not to. Like, if you have decided you don't need to sustain and survive at all, and you just, I don't know, want to run at people, and you're going for celerity, I guess that's whatever. But generally speaking, you really want to take Revitalize on Mordekaiser. It is so effective with this W. So graphs, we did the most damage in the game. Not surprising, irelia is a close second. Echo is a little funny, the amount of damage he did not do, I suppose. Irelia tanked the most because there were a couple of team fights where she showed up before we did, but then we make up for it with our damage, our insane damage to objectives. Look at that. Feast your eyes, people. So overall, a very solid carry performance, and one that I was decently happy about, to be entirely honest. So match history. These are all just like us trying out a whole bunch of different pathings. But for a while, I got upset because there was like this streak of 4 losses that threatened to put me back in Gold 4, and I was very sad about it. Because I knew that I wasn't playing my best, but I also had teams that were, like in this one, I know it looks terrible. I know it looks like I did, and I did. I could have at least cut down my deaths by half. But you have no idea. Like, you didn't see this game, my dude. The 113 Zeri and the 2-6 Yorick. There's a reason with 2 and 10. It was very hard to just go anywhere. Anyways, like, that was difficult to swallow. So after that loss again, in this Sion game, we weren't even planning to play Sion, but we're supposed to trade with our top laner who wanted to play Sion. He declined our trade, took our Mordekaiser, let's play Sion. So this little loss streak hurt. And then after a victory, I was still just so disheartened. I just switched over to Olaf. That worked out in the early game, and then we couldn't close it out. As you can see, it went to 37 minutes, and that's just never good. We had a Kled who was strong, but he built kind of like fairly damage heavy. As a result, he was getting chunked out very badly by both the Warwick and the Brand. And then the Garen kept assassinating our Fed carry. So this is a game where we should have been able to win because we had a powerful engager, powerful skirmisher / disruptor who can dive into their backline, a very powerful ADC, and a control mage who, even when behind, still has an AoE fear in her kit. Like, how badly can you screw that up? And yet, that's not the way it worked out, right? Warwick and Garen kept piling on top of Tristana. Lux and Tristana kept getting caught out in bad positions, and after a while, it was just like there was nothing we can do. We only won a couple of team fights, but anyways, that's not what you're here for. Point is, that all tilted me super hard. So, took a deep breath, took a break, and then started playing again. I played a game, won my set of 3, pulled it back, and then just tried a bunch of stuff, and then came back to play 2 games. So this is important to keep in mind as well, right? Like in solo queue, you're gonna have difficult games, and you're gonna have games where people int. But like a friend of mine recently told me, very wise advice, very wise words. Just gotta win more than you lose. Like, yes, you're gonna get AFKs and feeders, and sometimes you're gonna be able to carry them. That's great. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to, and that's okay. Take the L, move on. Don't let it tilt you. Don't let it upset your fundamentals. Don't let it upset your pathing. Don't let it upset your gank decision making. Don't let it make you miss your skill shots. Just play your game with your best understanding each time, and given that this is only gold, and people tend to lack that basic understanding, you'll win. Like what we did to the Hecarim here, it's not anything insane. It's winnable. In this game as well, for example, I normally permaban Vayne because she's unplayable for Mordekaiser. Like in her ulti, she vanishes and she disappears, and you just cannot duel her ever. And part of Mordekaiser's power comes from being able to, completely shut down the enemy ADC. but we are now currently permabanning Rengar, because Rengar is one of the few champions who can cleanse a suppress in his kit by itself. He doesn't even need a QSS to get out of my ulti. His empowered W gets him out of my ulti just by itself. And then with all the buffs and all the damage that he deals, Rengar is my current go-to ban. So I banned Rengar, they picked the Vayne got fed, nightmare scenario, ADC completely useless, but we had a very intelligent and tilt-proof Yuumi. Even though Kale started the game like 0-3 or 0-4, Yuumi was like, we're gonna scale, and I barely kept it together early game. Like, our Tryndamere got a couple of kills in the middle-y, and I showed up top and tilted them further, and I got Rift Herald, and I helped secure a Drake, and then after that, since most of their early kills actually went on this Pike, and then Vayne only started getting kills in the mid-game, we barely were able to hold it together until we got team fights at the 15-minute mark, where Kale with a complete item, level 11, had a Yuumi attached to her, and that's when we started crushing. And then each fight, Kale would either ult me in the front line or ult herself, while Tryndamere threatened to just walk at the Vayne. He usually just ended up dying. Like, a lot of these 9 kills are near the end of the game after he got a bunch of items. Nidalee was doing a very interesting tank build, but it wasn't very effective against us because these are the first 2 items she built. It's like, it was very difficult, but in the end, we won the game with like objective control, plus just Kale and Trent needed an angle to get on Vayne. So I flanked from an angle that made them, from their jungle, in a way that made them want to pile drive on me, but I had the Zhonya's and the Stone Plate, so I ran at them super fast with the Chem Tank. It looked like I was inting, but then I Stone Plated, then I absorbed so much damage through my Stone Plate that I had my W ready, and then when they'd gone through all of that, I Zhonya'd, and then by the time my Zhonya's was down, my W came back up, so I was under no threat of dying. But all of that time that I bought for the team was enough for Kale and Tryndamere to show up and kill everybody, and that's how we won that game. So you're going to have difficult games, and sometimes you're going to have games against champions that really fuck you up. A lot of these 9 deaths were me trying to deal with the Vayne, and I don't think I needed to die 9 times this game. But that's okay, you know, each game state is different, and each game state has different ways to win. And again, because this is gold, each game state is not unforgiving. There is almost always an avenue that if you can but look, you can find it back into the game. Like here, if you take a look at the gold graphs, once we started to get the lead, we just never slowed down. We just like kept getting more and more and more gold until eventually we ended the game with an 8k gold lead. But in this one, it's very different, right? In this one, look, it was very swingy. We were behind for so long until Kale started getting the shutdowns, until we eventually managed to group together and turn it back around after the 25-minute mark. Like, this is the point that you can see when Kale started to scale. This was the first time that we won a fight, and then we won another fight, and we turned that into a Baron, and that's when we started to develop our gold lead. And this is where Kale and Yuumi got cocky, and they died at the Nexus. But you know what? It's fine. It's all good. We eventually realized what our win conditions were, and we played to them. So even in a game where you fall 4k gold behind, a Vayne and a Pike, we still brought it back because we recognized that we needed to be patient, and we knew how to win the game. So keep a cool head. You're going to be able to win games like these. Know what your champion can do, know its strengths. If you're a skirmisher, use your early skirmishing power to force fights. If you are a fast clearer, use your fast clear to outpath and outlevel the enemy jungler. Like here, Zach was involved in so many kills because he had no choice but to gank, because just like we did to Echo in last game, look at the CSD, even at the end of the game, even while being behind. Like, he only has like, below us by like 30 or 40 CS because we weren't able to keep invading his jungle for the entirety of the game. Otherwise, you know, we still would have crushed him. So, games like these are still winnable as long as you know what your strengths are, what your win conditions are, play accordingly, itemize accordingly. So, hopefully this was an instructive video. Hopefully you learned some stuff. Have a wonderful day. Until next time, peace.